Another late night live stream in my car. Just about home. It's been a super long day, but it was a great weekend. It was an honor to be in John Day and be amongst some of the great. I call these people the great because they love their neighbors themselves and they love their country and they're willing to stand up for freedom. So we were definitely among the great this weekend. A couple quick things to get out. I'd like everybody to please go and follow Kate Daly. I'll put a link on this page, but her along with Chris Ann Hall were definitely the powerhouses of the night, really just teaching and driving at home some things we need to do. So I'm going to post links to that, and I'd like you guys to go and follow her page. If anybody has any positive media, I would like you to post it on either my page, John's page, or Lindsay's page. Any positive media reports that were done. We want to thank the media that came and chose to opt out of fake news. If you see any media that was fake news, will you please tag one of us in it, and you can tag it with fake news. We want to thank those who did well, and we want to call those out who are still choosing to stay in the shadows and be bought and misrepresent who we are as a people. There was some really great things that happened in the last 48 hours. I think probably one of the best was just really great people joining together with a common goal, which is liberty and justice for all. Whatever you read about, I want you to understand that the purpose of this meeting was to bring some closure to the meeting that Lavoie couldn't go to. Whether you think that it was a success or not doesn't matter, because it was a success. And I want you to understand that the meeting was an absolute success. The Finicums did a great job representing our nation and what we want to get back to with our grassroots. And I think a lot of people learned a lot, and I think it was a great first step, hopefully, to many people taking a stand and claiming their nation, their states, as sovereign from the United States government. With that being said, I'm going to say this to those who represent the Patriot community and have a platform. If you represent the Patriot community, and the only purpose of representing the Patriot community, or any community, is so that you can get likes on your page, but not to truly further the message as a whole, then you're not really doing any good collectively. So what I'm going to ask is the Dennis Michael Lynch's, the Alex Jones, the Katie Bally, the John Lambs, the Kelli Stewarts, the Lindsays, the Chris Ann Halls, I'm going to ask that if you support the things that are happening, the good things in the Patriot community, I want you to share our stuff. Chris Ann Hall, you can't get to the court hearings in Nevada, but John Lamb will be there. I'd like to start seeing John Lamb on your page. I'd like you to take some of us under your wing and help educate us and equip us, because we are right now the activists on the ground moving forth the movement. And we are all needing to work together. Nobody can do this alone. We don't need individual platforms for the purpose of individual gods. We need individual platforms so that we can all further the main message, which is liberty and justice for all. So, oh, Gavin Syme, sorry, how could I forget about Gavin Syme? Gavin's great about sharing our stuff, getting Joe Robertson's message out there. I commend him for that as much as I appreciate the other speakers that were there today. I want to see them, and I want to call our own representatives out, Chris Ann Hall, Katie Bally, Michael Lynch, and Alex Jones. And I want you, if you're going to speak about the Bundys, I want you to speak about reports John Lamb is doing, and I want you to share those. So, let's see, we need to support each other as a community. Let's make sure that whoever has the message about whatever is going on, let's make sure that we're all equally sharing that message, even if we ourselves are not the ones who are there gathering the information or reporting. That way we can all be blessing each other with each other's platform. Sarah, you have a great following also. You have a large following. So if I'm reporting in Portland, I need you to share my reports so that my message that I'm able to get out about the truth doesn't just go to my people, it goes to your people, John's people, Chris Ann Hall's people. We really need to get away from sharing mainstream media as much as we can, because mainstream media is fake news. We caught Maxine Bernstein presenting fake news. I did talk with her about that. She was saying that the agenda was, quote, against media, against federal government. Well, see, that's fake news, Maxine. That's a lie. If the Bundys were against media, you wouldn't have been invited with your own little section that said reserved for media. You wouldn't have been invited to their meeting. So clearly you were mistaken when you tweeted that they were against media and against federal government. They're against federal government overreach. The federal government has a place. It is very specific and in a box, and right now they are like a monster that's come out of the box and is eating everything in sight. So they're not against the government. They're not against the media. They're definitely against a tyrannical government. They're definitely against media that has been purchased and run by the CIA. So let's get our facts straight. Let's make sure that we're putting truth out there. I'm not paid media. I am a, what would you call it? A civilian journalist, I think people are calling it. Whatever. That's not my mission, but apparently that's where I'm at right now. So I will put my opinions on it because I love the Bundys and I love the Finicums because they are amazing people. So I am going to have to put that spin on it. I'm not paid, so I'm not going to call myself the press. I don't give myself the same rights as the press. I'm not allowed into the courtroom first like the press is. So, you know, I'm going to give myself a free pass there to be able to share my bias that I love these people. But people like Oregon Live and Channel 6, all these other reporters that show up, they need to just report what happens. So Maxine's job at the meeting was to report that the Bundys were sharing frustration that Ammon and Ryan were misportrayed as militia when they were not in fact militia. Maxine, that was your job, to state what happened. What happened is they were misrepresented, or they felt misrepresented. And instead, all you stated is that they were against media. We don't need you to tell people your opinions. We need you to tell people what happened at the meeting because they weren't all there. And so they're counting on you to tell them what happened. So just tell them what happened. Tell them that Ammon and Ryan were not a part of militia. Tell them that it was not a standoff. For a standoff, you need two people aiming guns at each other. Wasn't a standoff. Let them know the truth of what's going on and stop lying and spreading fake news, because we're here to discredit fake news and to call you out, and we're not going to go away. So all we're going to do is take away your viewers. They're going to follow us because they love us, because we're telling the truth and no money is involved. We're not being bought and paid. We're not prostituting out our souls so that we can mislead people. So we're asking you to do the same thing and to be truthful and get the message out there. That's what you're paid to do. Let's see. I can't think of anything else right now that I want to do a quick conclusion from this weekend. 1 week, trial is starting. Guys, we need you there. We need you in Portland. If you can't be in Portland, we need you calling whenever we do call campaigns. We need you sending letters. We need you calling your elected officials. We need you writing to President Trump. We need you showing up to protest when you can show up to protest. We need you supporting the rights of all people in this country and not just the political prisoners. These are all things you can do from home, from a computer, besides showing up to protest. There's a lot you can do on social media, so please don't discredit yourself just because you're out of town. There are fundraisers and call campaigns and letters, all kinds of things that you can be doing, and we need your help. 2 weeks, Nevada starts. John Lamb will be going back and forth between Portland and Nevada. I will be going back and forth between Portland and Nevada. Lindsay is still in Colorado. Deborah will be here on the ground as well, doing live streams when either John or myself is not in Portland. We'll get those messages out there, but then we need you to share them. We need the truth to be told. When I share and expose something going on in the courts, We need you guys to rise up and to call and hold the courts accountable. So all you do is pick up the phone and you call and say, hey, I'd like to call and give my opinion. I think it's really crappy that Judge Brown is not honoring and upholding the United States Constitution, that she's denying these people their constitutional rights to a trial by jury. Very simple stuff here. They deserve a trial by jury. We want them to have a trial by jury in Portland. We're going to fight for them to have a trial by jury, and we need you guys to help us with that, whether that's phone calls or showing up to protest. We've got lots of great ideas that are going to be coming out soon, so that our voices can be heard, and Judge Anna Brown can understand she is operating in a state of treason, and she either needs to recuse herself or she needs to follow the law, because that's what she asks of us. So it only makes sense that the people trying to tell us to follow the law would also follow it too. So lots of stuff coming up. We need your guys' support. We don't need followers. We need supporters. Okay? A follower is dead weight. A supporter comes alongside and does what they can do to help us. This is not what I believe my life calling to be reporting information. I don't like doing this. So if I'm going to do this, please respect it enough to support me in doing it. All that means is that I need you to do what you're capable of doing. Write a letter, make a phone call, share videos, educate your neighbors, tell them everywhere you go, like John Lamb says, everywhere he goes. Have you heard of the Bundys? Everywhere he goes. Start saying that. It opens up the doors for conversations. You can start talking about land rights, the Constitution, federal government overreach, unconstitutional agencies like the BLM and the EPA and the Forest Service. You have a job. I don't want a follower. I want a supporter. So support me in what I'm doing, and in doing so, you're also supporting yourself and your own rights, and we can all fight together. So great weekend, had a lot of fun. No violence, tons of guns in John Day, and not one pulled out or pointed at anybody. I know it's crazy that Americans could actually carry guns and not be irresponsible and shoot each other, right? I think we tipped well. I think thanks to Deborah's idea, we blessed the county with food at the food bank. We cleaned up after ourselves at the hotel and at the restaurant. I even got to hug one of the waitresses today, and I thanked her for serving us and for welcoming us to her town. So if you're from John Day and you're watching this, thank you for your hospitality and your kindness to us, and I hope that we were a blessing, because that truly was our goal as a representation of Lavoy Finicum. That's all. Get out there. It doesn't matter how it ends. It matters how you stand. Do your part. God bless you. We love you guys, and we'll be back in touch real soon with trial just a week away.